here we are. Here's the pro forma. So what's the very first thing we have to do?
You have to calculate the amount of alligators that he's catching per month.
Okay. So we're only worried about the number of alligators the first month, right? Okay, well, so what do I do? How do I calculate the number of alligators?
You would do the amount of boats by the amount that each boat catches, and then how many days he's gonna catch.
Okay, okay, so have you seen the one I sent you, the practice problem?
You mean the one that we were supposed to do on our own?
Right.
Yeah, it was like 3 times 3 times 21.
Okay, so you did it, Weston?
I did it for the first couple of months. I didn't do it like drag out.
You did what? I'm sorry, tell me again.
I did it for the first couple of months.
Okay. Well, here's what happens. You didn't really have to do it. Did you do break even? No. Okay, that's an important part. So what are we going to do up here with alligators, Scott? Tell me what we're going to do. We're going to take 3 boats, right? Times what?
The alligators per boat.
And how many they caught per boat?
I think it was 3.
Okay, you don't have it in front of you?
I can pull it up.
Okay, and then what do we do?
Times 21 days out the month.
Okay, and how many days was that?
21.
21. So that gives us 189 alligators, right? All right, so what do we do now? None of this is filled in, right?
You have to multiply the 189 by 40 pounds of meat per alligator.
Okay, first of all, we got to put the 40 pounds in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so we're then going to say the total alligators times 40, right? So we know we're going to get 7,560 pounds of meat, right? Now, what are we going to do for skin?
Yeah. It's so, like,
I'm gonna do 189 times.
it's crazy that there's even like, it's unbelievable. Well, like, he's the best ever. Yeah.
Hey, guys, who's got their mic on and talking in the background? Let's cut the mic off, all right? So how much alligator skin will we get? We know that what we'll do is that we'll get, let's see, 8 feet. Is that right? No. All right. The numbers on the practice problem are different because we see I had 3 boats.
10 feet of alligator skin.
How much?
10 feet.
10 feet. Okay. But I thought the problem said 45 feet. I'll be 45 pounds.
Yeah, it says an average of 45 pounds, but 10 feet in length.
Okay.
It's not how much meat though. It's 40 pounds average of meat per alligator.
It's 40 pounds, right? Okay. So we got 10 feet of skin. So what do we do now? Rachel, you know what we do now? Turn your mic
Once you
on.
multiply that against the alligators caught.
So we go 189 alligators times, we know we're going to get 10 feet, 10. So we're going to have 1,890 feet, right? So now we have to do, Malik, what do we do now to come up with the revenue for alligator meat? What do we do?
You
Turn your mic
multiply
on.
that number by $1.40.
Well, okay, so we're going to get $1.40, right?
And multiply that by the alligator meats.
Okay, so we've got 140. So we're going to do alligator meat of 7,000 times 1.40. So we're gonna have $10,000 in revenue, right? All right, William, what do we do for the alligator skin? I think we said, what do we say?
$8 per foot for the alligator skin.
Right, so
So
we
you
do
multiply the
$8,
feet. Yes,
all right? And then we're gonna say, what are we gonna do, William?
you multiply $8 by how many feet of alligator skin that we have. So it would be $18.90 times $8.
Okay. So now, if we sum those two up, right? So we've got $25,000. This is just gross revenue, right? Total revenue, that's what we have. Okay, let's see who else we can give an opportunity to. Okay, Hung, what do we do now? We got to come up with a variable cost, right? Now, what's the variable cost of meat?
Is the variable cost the processing cost?
Right, right.
So it'd be alligator meat, it's 45% of 10,584.
Okay, so we're alligator meat. What was it, 45?
Yes, sir, 45%.
Okay, so what do we do now, huh?
Multiply that by your revenue for alligator meat.
Okay, so we're gonna take the revenue of alligator meat times 0.55. All right, so Kate, what do we do? Well, Kate's driving, so we don't. Weston, what do we do for the alligator skin?
You're gonna do 55% or 0.55 times 15,120.
So, okay, what's our processing cost?
55%.
Okay, so we're gonna go 55%. And then we're gonna say plus the revenue for alligator skins times 55, is that right? So now what we do is we sum up and now we want to see what operating revenues we have. So we take our total revenues minus our variable costs, and then we got $11,567. Salaries. Rachel, what's the salaries? How much salaries are there? Do you have the problem in front of you, Rachel?
I don't. I can pull it up though.
Okay.
The salaries would be 4,000 plus 2,000 plus 2.5 thousand.
Hold on 1 second. 4,000 plus
2,000 plus 2,500.
All right, now when you do this, I want to know, show me how you came up. What's our rent, Rachel?
1,500.
Okay. What's our truck expenses?
2,500.
Okay, and what's our telephone, cable, et cetera?
1,000.
One. Okay, we're gonna go back in. We're gonna sum that up. If I can And now our net operating income will say operating revenues is $11,000 minus our fixed costs. And we see we've got a loss of $1,933, right? Now what's Louis, what's our one-time setup cost?
I don't have the sheet in front of me right now.
Okay, well, he says 55,000 for licenses and 20,000 for everything else. So we'd say machinery, let's call it 55,000, and let's call it everything else 20,000. So that we know it's going to cost the sum of $75,000. So if we, how do we come up now? What's the minimum cash requirement he has right now? Wait, I'm sorry. I put this in the wrong place. So at this point right now, Louis, what's the minimum amount that he has to come up with after the first month? To start this business, what's the very minimal amount he needs?
20,000.
Okay, 20,000. Okay, what about the other 55,000?
Well, once he has it, well, like that's after his first month of expenses. No.
See, we know he needs 75,000 before he can get started, right? But he doesn't have any money. Boudreaux doesn't have any money. So he lost $1,933. So what we know is he needs the 75,000, but he also, and we have to minus it. Wait, I'm sorry. We have to minus it to make it a positive number. So he needs $76,933 is a bare minimum it takes for him to get started, right? So we, yeah.
I didn't get 5,821 for the alligator meat with the cost of goods sold.
Okay, but did we use 45? We use 55.
I think you used 55.
Okay, but you see, that's why it's important for you to go back and be able to see it.
If it's 40, if it's 45, it's going to be lower.
All right, but all these other are going to adjust, right? So everything, once you get the formulas in, everything adjusts. So what we're going to do in here, we're going to do the break even, right? So the very first thing we want to know is that the percentage of alligator meat what percentage of the overhead should be allocated to alligator meat? Should each one of them, we know the overhead is $13,500, right? So when we know the formula is fixed cost divided by the sales price of one unit minus the variable cost of one unit. The question becomes, should each one of them cover $13,500 or should they each carry their portion of it? Samantha, what do you say?
For the percentage of alligator meat?
Yeah, what percentage of the overhead should alligator meat pay?
Okay, let me do the calculation real quick.
No, tell us what you're doing.
Oh, I'm gonna divide, let me see.
Okay, so we're gonna take the fixed cost, right?
Yes.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
No,
The revenue
The
from
alligator-
alligator meat
yeah,
divided by
The-
what?
divided by the total revenue.
Total revenue. All right. Now I'm gonna make these percentages, okay? All right. All right. Now, what do we do, Samantha, for the skins?
We will divide the alligator skin by total revenue again.
Okay, what will alligator skin what?
The 15,120.
Like the revenue from the alligator divided by the total revenue.
Yes, sir.
Now, see, it's not, we don't have the percentage in that. And what we know, if we sum these two together, what we know is they better be 100%, right? Because if they're not 100%, we know they're wrong. So now what we do, Warner, what do we do now?
Get the fixed cost for the alligator meat.
Okay, so we say alligator meat, what portion of fixed, or how do we figure out the dollar amount of fixed costs they're gonna do?
You get the 4,763.
No, what we would do, we want to know, we know that alligator meat's going to cover 41% of the fixed cost, right?
Yeah.
So what we say is the fixed cost is $13,500 times our formula right next door.
Yeah.
So we know it's 5,559, right?
Yeah.
Now we do the same thing here. We do 13,000, same times 59%. So we know that the sum of those two better be how much?
13,500.
Right. And what happens, you need to do that because if you made a calculation error, if this 13.5 doesn't match your fixed cost, you screwed up someplace, right? Yeah. So here's what we want to do. Malik, you ready? That's you, young man. Opportunity knocks. You ready? What's the formula? Do you remember the formula for break even in units? You got to remember the formula now. Turn your mic on. Malik, turn your mic on.
It's on now.
Okay. So what's the story? What's our formula for break even?
Would it be the total revenue by the 13,500?
No. Break even says the formula is fixed cost divided by the sales price of one unit minus the variable cost of that one unit.
Okay.
So we know the fixed cost for meat is $5,559, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we divide it by what's the sales price of one unit? What does one unit of meat sell for? 1 pound. Okay, it sells for $1.40, right?
Yeah.
Okay, So it's $1.40 minus, okay, what's the variable cost?
$13,000.
No, no,
Oh
no,
no,
no.
you come out of the meat, 14,736.
No, no, no. We want to know the variable cost of one unit. All we want is one unit. Hudson, can you help?
Honestly, no, no, sir.
Okay. Here's what happens. In other words, we want fixed costs. Now we're going to not use the total fixed cost. We're going to use only what the meat's going to cover. And then what we're going to do is minus the variable cost of one unit. Well, we know the variable cost is 45%. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 140 minus 140 times 45%. So we're going to need 7,249. Well, let's go back up here. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit larger. So if we go back up here in the top when we look and see what we did. Now, I'm going to send you this completed so you'll be able to go in and see the formulas, all right? But if we go up here on the very top, we see we took E33, which is this amount, the fixed cost. And then what we did was that we said 140, that's the sales price of one unit, minus 140 times 45%. So this is the sales price of one unit minus the variable cost of one unit, and you divided it by the fixed cost. Now let's do the same thing for the second one. So here we're going to use 7,000, right? We're going to divide it, same story. The sales price of one unit is $8 minus $8 times 55%. Now, if we want to see the sales, we know how many units it takes to break even. So let's say sales. So if we went 7,219 times $1.40, so we got $10,000 in sales of alligator skin, meat, and then we say 22 times 8. And so we say, and if we sum those two up, when we get somewhere around $27,000 in sales, we know we're close to break even. So let's check our math out. So in month 2, let's suppose we have said break even is 5,000 units, all right? And we've said break even in alligator skin is 7,941. All right. All we really have to do right now is take these formulas here, copy them, paste them over here. And of course, it didn't work. What did we do wrong? That number is wrong. Let's see what we did wrong in the formula. Oh, I used that wrong figure. Let's see. This is 2,000. We're still off. Hung, did you do it? Where did we go wrong?
I didn't do it, sir.
I think you're using the wrong units for the alligator meat.
Okay, where do we do that, Rachel?
D5.
C5?
D5.
Oh, yeah, okay. There we go. So see, all we did, we got our break even in units, right? 7,020, and when we put them in, how much did we lose that month? No, we didn't make any money, we didn't lose any money. So when we look at it, look at our sales revenues, 27,554. So that's one check. Other units here, and there we are. So we're back to Esther. What's the minimum amount of investment does he have to ask Thibodeau for? How much money?
Is it 75,875?
That's it, because he broke even the next month, right? So he doesn't need any money for the second month. Now, here's what we're doing. Let me give you a little background of why we're doing this. Is that this is the way a traditional pro forma is done. Because Boudreaux had to ask, excuse me, Boudreaux had to ask Thibodeau for some money to start his business. So he said, here I am. Thibodeau, I need $75,875. And if Thibodeau asks any questions, he shows him the pro forma, and this is where the money's going. This is a traditional company, a bricks and mortar company. What we're going to do, we're going to flip this model. You see, Boudreaux needs 55,000, 20,000. He needs 75,000 to start this business. Now, if any of you folks want to go in the alligator business right now, do you have $75,000? Or do you have a Godfather Thibodeau that would give you the money? Probably not. So what we're going to do by the time the semester's over, you're going to build your own company online, zero cost to get in. Your cost per month is going to be about $25. And you can go out and start generating revenues with no inventory and no upfront costs. And the way you do it now is that you start the business online, and as it grows, then you move it to bricks and mortar. The other thing that's important for you to know, if you go down the street right now on Johnston, in every retail store, if you go and knock on a door and say, do you need help with your social media on your website? Every one of them needs help because they don't understand it. So there was an article in Wall Street Journal a couple of days ago. It said the real problem, you're getting out of school and old people like me won't stop working. So if people don't retire on the top, it's hard for you to get in on the bottom. So what unique set of skills do you have as people move more and more online? Even if they're traditional bricks and mortar, they've got that online component that you can learn some skills in this class that you can transfer it there. But even more important, what I hope you end up with at the end of this class, I hope you've got a little sideline business that it's going to be a small part of your income so that when you get that job, if it's not the perfect job, what will happen is you'll have a little gig, you're doing something you really enjoy, and it'll start growing. And then you can make decisions. Do I keep doing what I'm doing, or I go 100% with my little sideline. And I'm going to show you in 6 months how you can pay yourself $50 an hour, work 48 hours on this job, and have a great sideline, do what you really enjoy. That's the purpose. And that's why we're doing the traditional right up front, and we'll go move over on the other side. Questions? What kind of questions we have, guys? Folks.
Can we use this? Are we using the spreadsheet on your midterm, or are we doing?
Well, I'm gonna give you a hard copy. It looks like this.
Okay.
You're not gonna, you can bring a calculator, cell phones, you can't use cell phones. You can bring a calculator, and what happens, and you can't bring the formula. It's fixed cost divided by the sale of 1 unit minus the variable cost. Let me stop sharing the screen. Now I'm going to send y'all the completed spreadsheet, so you will have that. Let me see. Are we having fun yet? Let's go back and share the screen again. This is really, here's what you do on break even. You calculate the first month's figures. You determine break even, and we're gonna always assume break even at 6 months. Now, what you're gonna do for the midterm, because once you do the break even, filling in 6 months is just swag, scientific wild ass guess. So in the midterm, all you do is calculate the first month's figures, determine break even, and scale the growth from there. That's what you have to do. It's important. If you don't understand what we did today, we're moving away from the pro forma immediately right now. We're done. And that if you have questions on it, what you need to do is you need to get back to me. Let me know what's going on, what questions you have, because we're done up until midterm. Now we're going to meet. We'll meet. Let's meet in a couple of weeks. I'll let you know. I'll send you an email. We have to meet every week. And what the next thing we'll do is a research project. When is a research project due? Does anybody have it in front of them?
Is it the 11th?
Okay. What we'll do is that we'll meet before the 11th to give you plenty of time to go over the research project. Now, Samantha, you have questions about the research project, or have you even started looking at it?
Yes, sir. I've looked at the recording and the PowerPoint that you posted, and I don't have any questions.
Okay. See, and I really try to do a good job in those PowerPoints in the video podcast so that you'll understand it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just do another video podcast to clarify anything up that you're doing. Now, the important thing about the research project is an affiliate marketing fees. That's what you're doing your final project on. So you have to understand affiliate marketing fees. That's where you put somebody's information on your site. Somebody clicks on it and buys it, they're going to pay you a sales commission. That's all affiliate fees are. But I want to make sure you have a great understanding, because that's going to be in your final project. And if you do, and you're hopefully building something you really enjoy, then no big deal. Away you go. All right. Questions?
So is the Research paper, is it just explaining you what affiliate market fees is, or just
Okay,
applying them to?
I gave you a list. Answer these questions,
All
right?
right. Yes, sir. Just that.
Answer the questions. But what I don't want you to do, I don't want you to tell about people paying of. I want to know your business. You're setting the business up. Your sole source of income you have is affiliate marketing fees.
Right.
The good,
Okay.
the bad, the ugly. Because that's going to be your sole source of revenue.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
the good question. Other questions?
It's due on the 18th, just so you know.
Oh, it's on the 18th. All right. All right. And what happens if you need to meet with me on a one-on-one basis, send me a email. I'll set up a meeting and away we go. Here's what I really want you to do. What this is doing right now is called the back of the envelope. This is when you sit and figure out, does it make sense or not? That's what you're doing right now, guys, is that you're doing this, and this gives you for the rest of your life, you'll understand if I want to find out if a business works or not, what's my expected revenues, what's my expected cost, how much money it's going to take to start the business, how long will it take to get to break even? And that's it. That's a valuable component that you need. The second thing you're going to do is I'm going to show you how easily to set up your online business. And what I've told you in the beginning, if you throw yourself into this and I see your final project, and I want to give all hundreds on the final projects, all right? If you throw yourself into it, if you want a temporary site, I'll give you for 6 months a website and you can work on it. I'll be your mentor and help you. And that get something out of this course so that when you leave, you're leaving with some valuable knowledge. Now, I've got a guy, Hunter Thieves, that owns S1 Technologies, or he's chief operating officer. And I'm cleaning up the video right now, and I'm gonna share it with you. And this is one of my ex-students. He found out what he loved. He's throwing himself into it, and he's wildly successful. And I'm going to share some other success stories too. As I told you before, one of the guys from my class owns a company. If you ever want to go look up College AD, and it's a clearinghouse for college athletic directors. Now, I taught him in the class is collegead.org, and it's a clearinghouse for athletic directors. I think he's got 65,000 subscribers on it. I think some of those are paid. And he came through my class. He was a GA for the football team. Came here with HUD from Mississippi State. He looked at the life of, the only thing worse than a football player sometimes is being a GA. They work those guys to death, all right? And so he said, I'm not going to live as a GA. So I worked with him for 5 years before he got this thing off the ground. And that's what I'm telling you. Our relationship doesn't have to end when the course ends. Show me that you're interested, throwing yourself into something. I'm always available.